Miracle Boy Boxing. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and I know I may be a little late on this video, but I just wanted to get it on. Just want to get it over with at this very moment. And I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite fighters that ever put on a pair of gloves, and I cheered him on every fight, man. And his name is Gabriel King Rosado, Puerto Rican fighter from Philadelphia, Philly tough, as you know what they say, Philly tough, and he was definitely the perfect definition of that. Anytime he stepped into the ring, he gave it his all. A true warrior, one of the true warriors of the sport. Arturo Gatti type fighter. He was a Puerto Rican Arturo Gatti. Uh, in my eyes, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of people's eyes as well, a lot of fans. Uh, 26 wins, guys, 17 losses, 1 draw, 16 knockouts. Did I say that correctly? 17 losses, yes. But if you follow Gabe's career, those 17 losses you can't overlook those 17 losses. They're not what you think. You know, if you look at Gabe's career and if you follow Gabe's career, there's some losses in there that shouldn't have been in there, that are not supposed to be in there, and unfortunately he got the wrong end of the stick in some of the decisions in those fights. Gabe has been in there with a lot of elite fighters. Gabe has been in there with elites from, man, dating back to 2013 against Triple G when no one wanted to fight him. The first time I saw Gabe Rosado was on YouTube in a video that came up, and I saw Gabriel Rosado versus Jesus Soto Caras. And we watched that fight, and I was impressed with what I saw from Gabe. First time I've heard of him, like I said, and he stopped Soto Caras. That was in his prime, and that was a very impressive win if you think about it, because Soto Caras, this was years before he even beat Andre Berto in that upset. So imagine how big of a win that was for Gabe Rosado. Soto Caras, true Mexican warrior, one of the veterans of the sport, of course already retired. But in his day, he was tough as nails. He came to fight. Typical Mexican warrior and a true veteran of the sport. And Gabe stopped him in 5 rounds. Imagine. This was back in 2012, so Soto Caras was in his prime back then. Very impressive. He was a durable fighter. So Gabe Rosado was able to stop him in 5 rounds. Been in there with Alfredo Angulo, got stopped in 2 rounds in that fight. Then here came the Triple G fight in Madison Square Garden in 2013 on HBO. No one wanted to fight him at the time. Triple G, who was in his peak, prime, young, and Triple G, man, showed his power in that fight, and Gabe never backed down. He showed his heart. He was busted up. He was bleeding, and Gabe never gave up, man. The corner threw it in, and right then and there, we all knew the type of fighter Gabriel Rosado was. Then he came and fight Jalen Love on the Mayweather Guerrero undercard. Yeah, Mayweather Guerrero undercard in 2013. I thought he won that fight, but they didn't give it to him, and Jalen Love eventually tested positive for a banned substance, so it was a no contest. So, I felt Gabe won that fight. That was one of the first fights that I saw that, whoa, they robbed him. And then I won't say they robbed him with Peter Quillen because he got stopped on cuts, but prior to that, I saw Gabe winning a good bit of rounds, and some of those rounds that I saw him won, they gave it to Quillen. But he was stopped in cuts, so it is what it is on that. The first fight that I saw Gabe Rosado lose was against Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo outboxed him, and I was like, okay, no robbery here. And he fought David Lemieux, a fight that he was doing really good, but he got swollen. His eye was swollen shut, so they had to stop the fight. But prior to that, it was a really even fight against David Lemieux. Then he came back and fought Joshua Clottey, won that fight. a Mexican by the name of Gutierrez Velasquez. He won that fight. Then he fought Willie Monroe on the Canelo Liam Smith undercard. Lost that fight unanimously. Then he went over to the UK and fought Martin Murray. And that's a fight that I thought Gabe won. Again, majority decision. They gave it to Martin Murray, but I thought Gabe won. Then he fought Glenn Tapia, stopped him. Luis Arias, another fight that I thought Gabe won, but they gave it a draw. And Makai Solecki, he lost that fight unanimously. But, again, you can never count Gabe Rosado out. He got outboxed for 9 rounds. And in the last round, Gabe landed a right hand that stunned Solecki to the point where he had to help. Solecki held on, but Gabe was pounding on him with the right hand because Gabe saw it. And the commentator was like, and oh my God, Gabe Rosado with the right hand, he's hurt Solecki, and down goes Solecki. Man, everyone thought that Gabe was going to come out of nowhere and pull off a stoppage in the last round after losing all 9 rounds. So that's what Gabe Rosado was all about in his career. Then he fought Daniel Jacobs in a fight that I thought he won. Many thought he won. The decision was such a robbery that the announcer said, and the winner and from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then Gabriel was on the apron like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, from Brooklyn, New York, never mind, from Brooklyn, New York, Daniel Jacobs. I'm like, what? Man, that would have been the biggest win of his career. They robbed him. And then he got the opportunity to fight Bektimir Melikuziev, Bek the Bully. Got dropped in a body shot. And then Bek the Bully got caught with a right hand counter. Very well timed by Gabe. And Gabe KO'd him, scoring the biggest win of his career. Unfortunately, he had to score a knockout to get the biggest win of his career. He can never do it by decision. The judges don't love him. But he got that win. Then he got the big fight with Munguia. Great fight that was. He lost. Shane Mosley again, right? Fought Shane Mosley after that. Majority decision. In a close fight. And Ali Akhmedov, he lost that fight unanimously. And then he got the rematch with Bek the Bully. Winning the first 4 rounds in my book, but then Bek the Bully took over the fight and got the decision. He learned from the knockout loss. He made adjustments and he got the decision. Gabe Rosado has always been one of my favorite fighters to watch. Unfortunately, he never won a world title. That was something I was looking forward to and I was hoping that he would do one day, but it was never meant to be. Gabe Rosado gave it his all in the ring. A true blood and guts warrior, a fighter that would have made it in the 50s. You could have put a black and white trunk on Gabe and a pair of black gloves, and he'll definitely blend well in those days, man. Puerto Rican Arturo Gatti. It's crazy. Not a Hall of Fame career, but a guy that never ducked his soul, fought everyone. And was a type of fighter that was a give me the contract type of fighter. Just give me the contract and I'll sign it. Doesn't matter who it is. Man, Gabe Rosado has a who's who on his resume. So, King Gabe Rosado, he retired at 37 years old last week after the fight, after the Beck rematch last Saturday, and I saw it coming. I wanted him to retire. I didn't want him to stick around and keep getting losses and keep getting beat up and used for prospects. That's not. I want him to keep his health. I want him to spend the rest of his life healthy with his family and live the rest of his life healthy. He has a gig at commentating. He can keep that. And he said he's going to share some knowledge with the young and up-and-comers in the sport. He's done his time. He's done his career. 2-time world title challenger. He's fought everyone in boxing that there is to fight. And that's that. Gabe Rosado, man. 37 years old. 26 wins, 17 losses, 1 draw, 16 knockouts. was a truly exciting fighter to watch. I'm gonna miss him in the ring, but I prefer him at this point to stay out the ring. I'm glad he made a decision to retire, and as a fan, I'm looking forward to his future endeavors in his life. Like I said, he's already been commentating, and so I'll definitely be looking forward to many more commentating and seeing what your future holds for Gabe Rosado. But it was an exciting career. I've been a part of it since I've been really a part of it since the first time I saw him on HBO against Triple G. That was the first fight I saw him live on TV. The Gabe was a substitute, you know. Gabe was a sub, and he came in there, man. He gave it his all. Gabe was ready. He was ready for the opportunity, and even in defeat, he went out like a true warrior as always. And that's about what I wanted to say on one of my favorite fighters to ever step foot in the boxing ring, Gabe Rosado, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. American Boy Boxing. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, guys. I always appreciate your attention to my channel, and I do my best to bring out the best videos possible about boxing, my favorite sport in the world, one of the greatest sports in the world. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. American Boy Boxing, guys. I am your host, Jose Cruz, and I'll see you guys next time for the next video. Peace.